Hi everyone, my name is Rafiat and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. It's an interesting one. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make soft, airy, pillowy donuts in very easy steps that I'm sure you're going to love. So now let's get right into it. I'm going to be using all-purpose flour for this recipe. That's our first ingredient, and all I'm doing now is to measure the flour into a bowl. Please make sure you're using the right measurement. I'm going to put the measurement in the video and also in the box below, so make sure you measure properly as well. So after that, I'm going to show you other ingredients. I have some yeast here and I'm going to add the yeast to the all-purpose flour we just measured out. Next, we have some sugar and I'm just going to add the sugar to the other ingredients. You can add more sugar or less sugar, it depends on how you like it, but this is just okay. So now I'm going to add some milk. The milk is optional, but it gives a better taste. So adding about a tablespoon of milk or 2 tablespoons is nice. So add some salt and now I'm going to mix everything together. So the mixture of the flour, the yeast, the sugar and the milk and of course the salt forms the dry ingredients, and it's always better to mix the dry ingredients before moving forward. So that's what we just did, and now I'm going to start introducing the wet ingredients, starting with 2 eggs. You can skip the eggs, but it makes the donuts come out much more better, so I recommend that you add the eggs. So I'm just adding the beaten eggs into the mixture, followed by some water. Again, start mixing everything together, and when you're doing this, make sure you're getting to every corner of the bowl and make sure you're getting all the dry ingredients so that everything can be properly mixed. Please, this is a nice time to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you will get notified whenever I post a new content. And don't forget to go through my channel. I have so many amazing videos for you. So now all I'm doing is to transfer this to a surface because we're going to be kneading with our hand and we'll need a flat surface for that. You can totally knead with a stand mixer or a hand mixer that has a kneading attachment to it. So you can use any of those, but today I'm going to be using my hand. So after bringing the dough together, I'm going to be going in with 2 tablespoons of margarine. You can also use butter, but over time I've found out that margarine does a better job. So I just added the margarine and we're going to continue kneading with our hand. Generally, the process of kneading is going to help form that stretchy, smooth dough that is perfect for your donuts or even your bread. So anytime you're making your donuts or your bread, make sure you're patient, especially if you're kneading with your hand. Be patient when kneading this so that you're going to get the ideal dough. Even when you're using a stand mixer, it's going to take a few minutes, though it's a little bit longer with your hand, but at the end of the day, you're going to get the desired result. So now let's quickly perform a stretch test. The stretch test is just going to help us know if the dough is ready, and as you stretch, if it tears easily, that means the dough is not ready and you have to continue kneading. So now go ahead and knead for a few more minutes and you're going to perform the stretch test again to know if the dough is ready. So if it stretches very well, your dough is ready. And this is what we have at this stage. This is after about 15 minutes of kneading, and let's perform that stretch test again. So at this point you can see that the dough is stretchy enough. So I'm going to transfer the dough into a bowl and perform another test. All you have to do is use your thumb to apply pressure on the dough, and if it bounces back almost immediately, that means the dough is ready for the next step, which is to set aside for about 10 minutes while we prepare the baking paper. This is what the baking paper looks like. It's also called parchment paper, and it's very useful when you're making donuts, you're making bread as well. The essence of the baking paper is that it's going to provide the perfect surface for the donuts to sit on because it's non-sticky. It's not sticky at all. So all I'm doing is to fold the baking paper into the desired size that the donuts can sit on. In the absence of the baking paper, you can simply sprinkle all-purpose flour. But the advantage of the paper is that it's going to reduce the amount of flour that you're going to use. So I recommend that you get baking paper. You can buy this from any baking shop or any baking tool outlet. It's very common, it's very easy to find, and it doesn't even cost much. After cutting the baking paper, go ahead and spread them on a baking tray. This is where the donuts are going to sit, and make sure you sprinkle just a tiny bit of flour on the baking paper. This is going to prevent any sticking at all. Go ahead and sprinkle some flour on the surface you intend to use. This is just to prevent any sticking at all, and place the dough on it. Now use your rolling pin to flatten the dough, and when you're doing this, please don't flatten the dough to be so thin or too thick either, okay? Just do this, roll the dough for a few seconds. You don't even have to do this for so long. After that, you're good to go. This is the level of thickness I like to use. It gives the perfect size of donuts. Now I'm going to be going in with my donut cutter. This is what it looks like. You can use a small bowl to do this, but I prefer using the donut cutter. And one important thing is that you have to dip the cutter in all-purpose flour. Everything we are doing with all-purpose flour at this stage is to prevent any form of sticking at all. And doing this is also going to make the perfect donut shape that we intend. So I like measuring out the number of donuts I'll get from each flattened dough. So that was what I was doing there. Now I'm just going to use the cutter to cut out the number that I counted earlier, and that's it for cutting out the donuts. It's a very easy thing to do. Like I said, if you don't have the donut cutter, go ahead and use a plate for this, one big plate and one small plate. But you can definitely get a donut cutter from any baking shop at all. It's something very common. After cutting, this is what you should have: well-shaped ring donuts. Okay, look how nice this looks. So what we're going to do now is to knead the excess dough, the dough we removed from the flattened one earlier. All you have to do is knead for about 5 minutes. This shouldn't take so much time, and after that you're going to repeat the process of flattening again. Don't forget, you're not supposed to let this to be so thin. Cut the dough, remove the excess and re-knead. Just repeat the process until you're done with the whole dough. Now I'm just going to place the donuts on the tray we prepared earlier. I'm going to set this aside until double in size. That should take about 45 minutes to 1 hour. Once that time elapses, go ahead and add some vegetable oil into a pan. You can use absolutely any kind of oil, but vegetable oil does the best job. Now I'm just adding a tiny bit of onion into the oil. The reason I love doing this is simply because it adds amazing flavor to the oil, an amazing flavor that you're going to love. I usually do this anytime I'm making snacks, and I totally recommend it. Our donuts look well risen and ready to be fried. How you will know that your donuts are ready to be fried is that they will be double in size and they feel light. When you pick them up, they feel really light. So watch out for this. So now I'm just going to add the donuts into the oil. Please make sure your oil is not too hot. Very important, because you don't want your donuts to, fry to get burnt without being properly fried. So make sure you're using oil that isn't too hot, and be patient when you're frying your donuts. So once you fried one side for about 3 minutes or 3 to 4 minutes, go ahead and flip the donuts, and this is what you have. Be careful when flipping so that you don't distort the shape of the donuts. Allow the other side to fry for about 3 or 4 minutes again, and take them out of the frying pan. It's very easy to fry donuts. The most important thing is make sure your oil is not too hot. Now we're going to just repeat the process of frying the donuts. Fry them in batches, and that's it. Very easy to fry, very easy to make. The whole procedure of making donuts, very easy peasy, and you're going to be left with perfect donuts with this signature ring. You see that white ring at the center? That's how you know you've done a good job when making donuts. It shows that the donuts were properly made, they were properly risen, and you can get that by following the steps and the procedure I've shown in this video. So for extra enjoyment, I'm going to be coating the donuts with some sugar. You can absolutely skip this step if you don't want to do it, that's fine. Simply coat the donuts with some sugar, and that's it. Now I'm just going to show you how our donuts look on the inside. It feels very soft and pillowy. So just follow these steps and you'll be left with amazing donuts. Thank you so much for coming this far, and I'm going to see you in my next one. Bye.